Hello, everyone. My name is Guthrie Weinshank. I want to talk to you about the really cool new series that I'm starting. Um, I don't even know where to begin, honestly. This is the first video that I'm doing, and it's the first of hopefully a lot about behavioral economics, about what is behavioral economics, about cool tidbits about behavioral economics, about why I think it's so much fun, maybe, possibly, hopefully, and hopefully you think it's a lot of fun too. So the whole point of this is to kind of be a loose chit chat conversation. I have, in theory, fingers crossed, I have all I did all this research. I mean, I don't know, it's well over 100 pages, 200 pages of research. I don't know, 300 pages. What I did was I went and I found the most influential behavioral economics, mostly, though behavioral science too. It's a tough mix. Papers, academic papers that were out there, and I read them. I read them first word to last word, and I looked at all the studies. I poured over charts and graphs and regression tables and models and P's and R's and T's and all the good statistics that those kind of papers have. And I did all of that hard work just for you, dear watcher. Hopefully someone is watching. And so I did all that work about why we like free stuff and about what makes humans weird when they're purchasing decisions and about using dummy products to sell more and all sorts of cool stuff. And so I put all that research together, and then I had this beautiful thing of just research. And then part two was I took that and I turned it into conversational writing. They're lovingly called blog posts, but they're not. I mean, it's different. You know, blogs are 2008, and this is not. This is 2018. So you can't just write a blog post anymore and just send it out. I mean, there's so much content. So, but I did want to turn it in from from just in the study, the statistically significant that these variables and in this little thing, which makes sense to me, but it's not going to make sense to everyone out there. So what I wanted to do then, and what I am in the process of doing, I haven't finished everything at the time of this recording, but I've done a lot of it, is then turn that from raw. So I went from the studies to cool findings to putting that into a format that makes sense, that people can understand, that hopefully is fun and engaging. I really like fun and engaging. That I use these what I call mind journeys, where I basically walk you through, you're in a forest and you come across two paths. I mean, it's okay. It's a little more straightforward than that. But basically, because a lot of behavioral economics is on the micro level, so it's about decisions that you guys, everyone makes in their daily lives, and they're walking around and they come to this decision point, and we have all, for the most part, done these weird things that to the if you had a computer come down and say determine the optimal conditioning for the way humans should act, it'll come up with this thing, but humans always do this other thing. Why is that? And that's really the field. And so, I kind of put yourself in the shoes of the imaginary person, so that you can, because a lot of it is about feeling. It's not about mental, it's about emotional. That's how we make decisions. We are interesting, social, communicative, emotional beings. We're weird, fleshy mammals that like to think that we're some sort of rational organism, but this is not how our brains work. So I wanted to illustrate that in a way that made sense. So I have these fun little things where I put you in the action, and then hopefully I also have a lot of cool thoughts and feelings and ideas about what this means about the future and what this means about the past and implications and how you can use it in your business. So that was I don't even know what part I'm in. I did part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is an introduction video, and I wanted to also, in conjunction with what I call the blog posts, which are really just the summary of my ideas in written form, I wanted to have a very loose, relaxed conversation in video form because video is so powerful. I went to law school. I'm a good talker. You can ask all my poor, friends. I like to talk a lot. I'm good at talking. I like talking, and so I wanted to have this other way of communication in a way that was smart and funny and entertaining. But I mean, let's be honest, we're talking about behavioral economics, like some of these topics are dense. They are not, this is not, I wish I was talking about basketball. Like if I had an NBA podcast, which I would love to do, it's so easy to make a fun NBA podcast. You got all sorts of fun stuff on Instagram, and the games themselves are exciting, and their storylines. It just like makes its own fun. But when you're talking about regression analysis, and you're talking about, the different way that framing affects purchasing decisions, people's eyes glaze over, and I totally get that. And some of these academic papers I read, you have to be so happy that I'm doing this for you because they are so dense. So I work with Dr. Susan Weinschenk as well, and she has a PhD in psychology, and so she's not. It's not like she's bad at reading these things. And when I would send her some of the research with like a summary of the thing, like her eyes glaze over. Like this is not easy stuff. So what is my credential for reading really, really, really dense material? Well, I got a degree in economics from the University of Wisconsin, which is one of the top 10 best econ departments in the country. Go them. I love them. I love those guys at Madison. And then I went to law school, where you basically had to read and summarize really, really, really dense, boring writing from like the 1940s, from very highly esteemed judges, for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages. And so I combined that with my fierce willpower, and I was able to. I can just plow through these and summarize what's actually. I mean, I make a lot of fun at the researcher's expense. So much really wonderful, brilliant, wonderful, truly great research that's out there in this brand new, very hot field of behavioral economics, and so I'm, I just wanted to bring this all to you in a series of webisodes, web blogs, conversations, chit chats, and because I think it's really valuable. I think it's really valuable for the world to know it, to the world for society to think about things the way us as humans think about things. I think there are a lot of problems in society, and I know this is getting a little highfalutin, and I promise I'll scale it back very quickly. But I think there's a lot of problems in society that arise from the fact that we have these expectations about how humans should behave, including ourselves, and we just don't recognize that humans are imperfect, and in my opinion, dumb, sheepish, emotional-driven creatures. And so when we make decisions emotionally, or we make decisions to the artificial intelligence computer program would seem to be irrational. That's not, in society we often attribute that to the fault of the human. You should have done this right, you did this incorrectly. And I think it's really valuable for us to think about, well, what is correct? Because often the correct natural mode of humans to be is wrong and lazy and not in their own self-interest and emotional and shortcuts. And so to have these expectations that we're all this like brilliant mathematician AI program that just makes these amazing decisions at every level and is always consistent. We humans are going to fall short of that all the time, and I think it causes a lot of problems. So just to think about us as a species, as imperfect creatures, I think is very important. So that's my spiel. I'm going to get down into a lot more research, a lot more stuff. I just wanted to introduce myself. I wanted to introduce the topic. I wanted to say why I'm doing this. I mean, like what is this whole series going to be? So, I encourage you to watch it start to finish. There will be, it will be published in some sort of order. I think honestly it's going to be chronological. If I were to put this in a book, I would reorganize and shuffle the chapters around. But I think I'm just going to go in the order in which I have done the research summaries, and then once I do the summaries, I'm going to record a video. Couple more housekeeping things. First, if you have any questions, email me at info@theteamw.com. We'll have all the descriptions in the info below. I really glad I got to do that. I've never really had like a YouTube whatever, or whatever we're gonna put this on, and so I have always jealous of my favorite YouTubers who are always like pointing at like the places things are going. So now I can do that. So a couple more, housekeeping. There are a number of times that I don't have all the stuff memorized. And the whole point of this is not to be a super, super, super polished corporate video training series that's going to be, immaculate the whole time. And that's, we have the Team W where I work. We have a whole bunch of online training courses, and at courses.theteamw.com, and you can go there and you can check them out. And they have a very, very, very high level of professionalism, I would say. They're conversational in nature, but the quality at which they're recorded is very, very professional. So, we go through a lot of work to memorize the research, to say it in an engaging manner. If we, for example, need to, say a specific quote, we'll be moving slides and transitions on screen, and it's all really professional. And this is meant on purpose to be a step below that, and in a good way. It's just meant to be much more of a mentoring. I'm talking to you. I'm telling you about some of the fun behavioral economic stuff that I've come across, and you just learning, and hopefully I'm entertaining, and you can put me on in the background or whatever. So. To get things right, I mean, I'm going to be doing a lot of talk about specific studies and specific coefficients and variables. Though there will be no math. There'll be no math whatsoever. So don't worry about that. I'll be summarizing. So if you did it this way, it went up 12%. If you went it this way, it went up 18%. Whatever. And so I have a over here. I'm not going to have any illusions. There's a screen, just a regular computer screen, and I'll have my notes up on the screen. So if I need to say something specific or quote the study specifically, I'm going to turn and I'm going to read, and it'll be great. I'll turn back and I'll talk to you. So it's not meant to be perfect, and it's okay. So there'll be a lot of back and forth, and So I'm gonna try and keep things generally short. Videos will not be an hour. Hopefully digestible tidbits. And I don't know, this is fun. I've never done anything like this, really, to this level. I've done various other, and this is almost like a creative project to me. I've done various other projects, built things and made albums and stuff. But this is a different type of something. So my goal, my hope, is that I have the wherewithal, fortitude, time, energy, and effort to do 100 of these on 100 different topics. That's a lot. So this is one. Welcome. I don't even have a name for this series yet. So welcome to whatever this is. I hope you have just as much fun as I do. And I'm gonna turn this off and start recording about what behavioral economics is. So I'll see you later.